We continue to call for, and we continue to convey for the fair treatment and the good treatment of those who are detained, and continue to express the concerns I've expressed a couple times this week.
Do you think it's incumbent upon the military or anybody else to declare some reasoning or cause for these detentions?
Well, certainly rule of law would be requiring there to be a process exactly along those lines.
And do you see that?
Well, I don't know. I know every case is different, but we still continue to view these as politically motivated arrests, and still continue to believe that they should be released.
Let me ask you on the statement made by the German foreign minister today. They called for the release of President Mohammed Mursi. Do you concur, or are you likely to do the same thing anytime soon?
We do agree.
You do agree that he must be released.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When the military releases President Morsi, will you be recognizing him as the president of Egypt or not?
Well, I know there was yesterday a legal question, I believe, from Nicole, who I think just stepped out on this along these specific lines. So let me just give you an answer on that in terms of who we work with. It is, of course, up to the Egyptian people, as we've said a number of times, to determine their future and the path forward. We are working with the interim government, and I can also confirm for you that Ambassador Patterson has met with the interim president as well.
But the Egyptians have voted for President Morsi 1 year ago, and now there is no elections.
Well, part of it is the path forward and where things go from here. And there, of course, has been a plan that has been laid out as a first step. But moving forward with an inclusive process is what we would like to see. And while, yes, we, of course, recognize that Morsi was, President Morsi was democratically elected, the question, this is more, and I've said this before, as have many other officials, it's about more than what happens at the ballot box. Most democratic transitions take years to take root and stabilize, especially following decades of autocratic rule. And what we're focused on now is continuing to encourage that process to move forward by including all sides.
Does this mean if they will release him tomorrow, you're not recognizing him as the president of Egypt?
I think I just stated who we've been working with, but obviously it's up to the Egyptian people from here.
So far you have been unable to designate what happened in Egypt as a coup or not a coup. Yesterday, an Egyptian scholar, Muna Makram, called it popular impeachment. Do you agree with that term? That was a popular impeachment?
We have not defined it yet. We are taking the time to evaluate and continue to do that.
But you've also said that you are taking into account the fact that, you know, upwards of 30 million people on the streets, 22 million on the signature, their voices should count for something, and you're noting that this is reflecting the popular will of the people. So is this case going to be applied in all cases now, that when you decide what happened, whether someone was taken from power or not, what the people demand is possibly a factor in here?
I can only speak to what we're looking at.
Well, it does set a precedent, though.
It's not intended. Every case is different. Every country is different, and we've always said that.
Are you concerned that it might set a precedent? Are you concerned that this actually might set a precedent?
Well, we haven't made a decision yet, Saeed, so there's nothing to set a precedent on.
Come back. You said that the U.S. agrees with the German call that President Morsi should be released. Have you conveyed that officially to the Egyptians?
I know we're in regular contact. I'd have to check if that has been specifically conveyed privately.
But the fact that you agree with it means that you must also be feeling that he should be released now, and one would think that would have been officially.
I'll have to check on the exact lines of communication on that specific point.
During Ambassador Patterson's meeting with the interim president?
Again, I don't have any readout of that, just that they met.
Do you know when she met?
Is this something that you just decided on today that you think he should be released, or is this something that just had gone, that you had not said, or others had not said from podiums before, but had always been your position since he was taken into custody, or since he was detained under house arrest?
Well, I can't speak to all of the internal thinking on everything,
Can
but
you-
obviously we haven't said it before today.
I know, so, but is this something that, had this been the U.S. position prior to today, or was it just decided today that you should call for his release?
Well, I just
Publicly?
I just did it today publicly.
Okay. Can I
Beyond
ask-
that, I don't want to.
Well, then can I ask why today you decided to make this call as opposed to, you know, the day after or the day that he was taken into, under house arrest?
Well, we've expressed concerns from the beginning, just
Right.
this is relevant, as the president did in his statement and as we have from the podium and other places about his arrest, about the arrests, the politically motivated arbitrary arrests of other Muslim Brotherhood members. Yesterday I made clear, obviously, that
Right.
it's difficult for an inclusive political process to move forward. Beyond that, I don't have any peel the curtain back anecdotes for you here.
Well, does it mean that when you're calling for, that you believe that he is, that the reason for his detention is politically motivated? It's politically motivated detention?
Well, I think we've expressed our concerns about his detention from the beginning.
But until, I just want to know why it was that you didn't, until today, make an express call for his release, or had that always been your position and just you didn't want to, there was a reason that you didn't want to say it publicly?
I just don't want to get into the sausage making behind the scenes
Well,
here.
that's fair enough that you don't want to get into the sausage making, but, you know, this administration represents the American people.
I agree with
And the
you.
American people, and the rest of the world would like to know exactly why it is that you do what you do and you say what you say when you say it.
I certainly
And-
understand that, and if there's more I can share with you, I'm happy to do that.
Jen, why are you pressing, as Matt has said, why are you pressing the army to release President Morsi if he's not the president anymore? And 22 million people in Egypt have agreed with the army steps.
Well, I think that our view, as we've stated a number of times here, is that our fundamental goal, I guess I should say, has been that an inclusive and sustainable democracy, where all sectors of society, where all Egyptian people are fully represented, will represent all sides. Beyond that, we feel that includes, of course, the Muslim Brotherhood and other representatives that have been detained.
And do you think that his release won't complicate the situation in Egypt?
I just can't speculate on that.
So if I understand correctly, you're saying you're calling for his release because you think his detention is politically motivated. In other words, that he had not committed any crime. Is that correct?
Well, I
Your
think
understanding, the U.S. government's understanding is that President Morsi did not actually commit any crime.
we're not here to make an
I know
evaluation
you're
of
not.
that. The
but you're
United
telling-
States doesn't
but
make
you
an
believe that
evaluation
he
of
is-
that.
But you believe that he has been unjustly detained.
The president said that in his statement a week ago.
Well, yeah, but he hadn't said that he should be released until today.
But
So
we've
did something
conveyed our
change?
concerns from the beginning.